This video is going to be a quick guide to understanding how Ibn Fahd Sanctum works and how you can best allocate your gemstones to get the best bonuses from it. I'll try to keep it short and concise so that you can get an understanding of the system, then apply it to your account immediately. I've made some graphs and I've done a little bit of math to help you understand, and I'll show those throughout the video. So the first thing I'll cover is about the Aspirant Keys. You need 377 to do a full clear of the chest rooms. And there are many places you can get them from the game, even as a full F2P player. You can get 4 per day from either running the Sanctum and killing the monsters before the chest rooms, or you can send your familiars and they'll essentially do that same thing, and they'll also open the free chest for you. You can get them from the Battle Pass and the Battle Archive shop, which has a monthly reset. You can get them from ranking up in Battleground, which is just another reason why you should be pushing for high silver or low gold at the very least. And then of course Tower War will also give you some when that's around. The new rotating event with rewards will give you some. It seems like they'll keep doing these type of events, so try to max these out. And then look out for other events like Hungering Moon, where you can buy some more keys. You can also get some weekly from the Hilts Trader, and this is by no means an exhaustive list. Just want to highlight some of the best places to get these keys. Before we continue, I would like to quickly mention that over 78% of you are not subscribed, so if you learned something or if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. Thank you. Once you have 377 keys, you should do a full clear of the Sanctum, and keep in mind that if you sent your familiar to the Sanctum, then you won't get any keys from the initial mobs, and the free chest will be locked as your familiar is opening it for you. As you're opening these chests, you can either try to pick everything up as you go, or you can just leave it on the ground, and then once you finish, you exit and everything will just be mailed to you. This is normally what I do, so I don't have to be bothered. Additionally, if you don't open all of the chests in the final room, or any room, then you can keep leaving and coming back an unlimited amount of times until daily reset to keep killing these elites. And they have the full drop table, so they can drop Legos and even runes. Now, this might not be super useful, but it is kind of cool to know. Now on to spending the gemstones that we get from these chests. So this is where you will have to understand what role your class plays in PvP, if that's what you're going for. Or if you just care about PvP, then basically just put everything into armor penetration. Don't worry about anything else. You can use your burl for armor in this case, since in PvE, armor and armor pen are really the only stats that'll make your life easier. But if you want to optimize for PvP, then you should follow these guidelines. First, determine if your build or class is potency or armor pen based. If you don't know how to figure this out, then look at where your damage is coming from. Everybody needs a little bit of armor penetration, but if your damage is coming from dots and crowd control effects, then you should be boosting up your potency more than usual. This is especially useful on wizards, necros, and some satyr builds. If this is you, then you should be using your garnets for armor pen and potency, but you should spend more on potency than normal. And the same with the sapphires. But here you can try to even these two stones out, as they will give all full relevant stats. However, for basically everybody else, you want to put as many garnets as possible into armor pen and don't really care about potency at all. Then you determine if you want to be tanky or not. So if you do want to be tanky, then you should try to get your armor and resistance up by using burls and sapphires in the Sanctum. Otherwise, you should put the majority of these two gems to either boost your armor pen or potency. So let's see this in action. On Tempest, I really only care about armor penetration, but I still want a tiny bit of defensive stats. And with the upcoming nerfs, you might even want more defensive stats, as we're going to need to get more up close and personal, but that'll come in time. And I have a number in my head that I'm looking for when it comes to my secondary stats. And I figured this number out by looking at what my enemy's armor is normally in BGs, and based on what normal gems I have. Right now I want to be above 5300 armor pen, so I'll spend most of this on my armor pen in the Sanctum until I reach that number, and then I'll evenly spend the rest on defensive stats. I'll spend more on my armor pen in the Sanctum until I reach that number, and then I'll start focusing on defensive stats. I don't need potency that much, but if you have a lot of gemstones to upgrade these gems, then it is worth it to get a few upgrades in potency with the garnets. So as you can see on this graph, the cost per level gets very, very high as you reach around level 30. And it becomes cheaper to rank up a gem from level 1 to 11 than it is to get a gem that uses the same gemstone like a garnet, just one level. So at this point, I will always take those 10 levels from the other gem, as 180 or even 90 in a secondary stat is much better than just 18. And this same principle can be applied to all the other gems. So try to have a number in your head that you want for each specific stat, or 1 or 2 specific stats, then upgrade until you reach that, and then you can spend the rest almost however you want. Most classes need both armor and resistance to be tanky, but on Tempest, by using Flowing Strike, we're kind of able to get away with having much less resistance than other classes, while still being able to get away from many of the CC abilities. So just to recap, I'm trying to put the vast majority into Armor Pen using my Garnets and my Sapphires. Then I can put the rest of it into defensive stats and potency. So now you should have the most optimal setup, or at least a much more optimized setup in the Sanctum. But for those of you with a keen eye, you might have noticed that I didn't mention 3 of these gems, and that's on purpose. The life and damage attributes are never worth it to upgrade until you have a maybe level 40 to 50 gems. The scaling on these stats is not great at all, and can even mess up your matchmaking if you have high damage and life compared to others around you at your stats. So don't put anything into those and just save to upgrade the other gems. Finally, if you don't have some of these gems in the Sanctum, then you can travel inside, inspect, and then it'll show you where you can get them around the game. Many of these require you to kill some type of world boss, so just keep an eye out for those that spawn around the game in order to get these gems. With all that being said, I would like to thank you all for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe if you got something out of this video. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. As well, check out my other content for some more tips on the game, and check out my Discord to get more help. If there's any other video topics you'd like to see me cover, as well, leave those below. Peace.